Keep the Faith merch. You can inquire through my email at keepthefaithbook100@gmail.com. Entitle my book, Keep the Faith. The cost is $14.99. I will put the link in the description below for Amazon to purchase my book. I have Keep the Faith glass cups. The cost is $8. I also have Keep the Faith journals at $10. I have Keep the Faith flip-flops, $10. We only have a limited amount of sizes left, starting from size 6 up to size 11. And we have Keep the Faith t-shirts. One shirt says Keep the Faith 100 and the other says Keep the Faith with my logo. The sizes range from extra small to 4XL, and the cost is $15. Thank you so much for your support. Remember, you can inquire on Keep the Faith Book 100@gmail.com. Thank you. Hello. On this episode, we're talking about how to live your life intentional,
opposed to living for everyone else.
And before we get started, please hit subscribe, share, and like. I am your host, Chandra L. Johnson, and this is my co-host,
Darren Dukes.
All right. So, Darren, can you please explain to us how to live your life intentional?
For some, this could be hard, especially if you are a people pleaser. So, one of the ways, first you have to set your boundaries. So you have to put your goals first. So once you put your goals first, you have to stick to your goals and understand when distractions come through, you have to block it out. And so one of the things, in the first half of my life, I was a people pleaser. I was living for everyone else, satisfying them, entering out myself by not being fulfilled by other people. So one of the ways, if a person really, they truly love you, they really care for you, they will help you get to your goal. Matter of fact, they will allow you to reach your goal. So one of the ways, you just have to stick to your goals and understand what's important, who to block out, who to cut off. Unfortunately, you have to cut some people off. Some hobbies or habits need to be changed, and you have to understand that you're trying to reach a goal. So that's going to require discipline, focus, dedication. So one of the ways, you have to put yourself first. I know that sounds a little selfish, but you're not selfish when you're trying to accomplish something. Like you're going off to college. You know what I'm saying? You have to put your goals in. You have to understand you have to study for this test. So you can't hang out to that party when your friend asks you to hang out. Or you can't hang out with that girl who, the girl, dude, whoever. You know what I'm saying? But it's time for you to focus on your goal. And so a lot of times, people are going to guilt trip you. They're going to, they're going to sit up there and say, oh, you're not cool anymore. You're not, you don't care about us anymore. But, that's manipulation. So, and we don't operate in manipulation. So you have to put yourself first. And to be honest with you, it cost me a lot of years of my life living for everyone else. I felt like, I feel like, I could have in my life personally accomplished a lot more had I had that mindset. So now that I'm older, wiser, and of course life will always teach you. You get more experience. You have to, you put yourself first, and you live unapologetic. You know what I'm saying? To anything that's out there that's trying to distract you. So when you say no, don't feel bad about it. Don't let anyone guilt trip you. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to get to the point, and the earlier you learn it in life, the better off you are, because
time. You don't want to play with your younger years.
Right.
you know, with,
Right.
you know, because it's so sad that you have to pay with your younger years,
Yeah.
you know, before when you get older, your mind is wiser, you know,
right.
you're making good sound decisions.
Sound decisions.
So that's, you know, I guess all boils down to you want to make good sound decisions with a clear mind.
Yeah.
You know, clear. You just want to be clear
Mm-hmm.
because when you start doing things prematurely, like the other segment when we was talking about sexual relations, when you have sexual relations, when you're trying to set the foundation or build from your foundation, your mind is clouded because you already started building on sexual relations.
Right.
So,
you know, and
good sound decisions.
And see the thing about it, in Philippians, Paul talk about people pleasers. He said you're a people pleaser. There's no way you can please God, and we all know that God give us our purpose. He guide us. He direct us to where we need to go, and we sit up there trying to please A, B, and C, D, and D. You know, so opposed to sticking to what God trying to lead us.
Yeah,
you're a people pleaser.
Yeah.
And so, to be honest with you, from my experience I had, it cost me my years in my 20s living for
all your 20s.
All of it. You know, I had that mindset of, you know what, I'm going to get my college degree. I'm going to focus on that, and I'm going to stick to my goals, opposed to satisfying this person, that person. You know, my years now could have been much easier. Not saying it's bad, but you know, sometimes we go off track like in the maze, but we always get to the same. And it always leads us to the same direction. That's why they say
to your goal.
Right, to Romans 8:28, it say all things work together for good, because sometimes you do get off track. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you go down that straight line to get to your goals, and sometimes you have to go all the way around everything, you know, everywhere else to get to your goals. So that's one of the ways. So you want to explain from your point of view?
Well, my point of view, like I said earlier about good sound decisions, that's what I'm trying to walk in now. Now that, you know, like we're saying, paying for, you know, like your future with your youth, listening to your parents or a mentor, teacher, you know, like whomever, you know, your elders or whatever. So I don't regret any decisions I've made, but I do think about it. So it kind of just molded me to the person that I am today. I always wanted to be like a good person, you know, a better person. Even now, I still say I could make, you know, I could do better. So, but my point of view from just living my life in not being a people pleaser, because I would always say, like that first half of my life, you know, like I lived for other people, you know, and now this part of my life I'm living for myself. So living life intentional, just trying to accomplish my goals. Like I always say, get my life, you know, accomplish my goals, trying to be obedient to, you know, God, and just allowing him to be a light to my feet that he trusts me with. So I just want to, you know, just whatever was set before me, before I was, you know, created, before I was sent here, you know, I want to do, you know, what it is that God has me to do, you know, first. And then if it's his will, to try to do what it is that I want to do, if it's his will. So, and that's what I try to do, to just invite him in on what it is that he wants me to do, so I can actually live my life intentional that he trusts me with, by living what he already set before me. So I guess just being obedient, you know, and just realizing that, you know, how we would say loosely, I think, like we live in this life, you know, in the flesh, but we're supposed to be in the spirit. So, I'm just trying to, you know, just be mindful of he trusts me with this life. So, so really, you know, he trusts me with his life. So it's like, okay, all things work together for my good. So, you know, now that I'm older, if I realize that when I was younger and listened to what my parents was telling me, because they spoke in parables too. So, but if I just comprehend that what they were saying, I wouldn't have to pay for it with my youth. But like Daddy say, life lessons gonna get you.
So, it's gonna teach you, man. It's gonna teach you. I mean, because we swear we know everything. We swear we know, and one of the biggest, you know, words I learned is on the one word that is hard for a lot of people to say is no. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I mean,
got a gift for no?
I'm learning the gift. I'm almost there, but I'm learning that gift because there are going to be people, you have something that's pertaining to your goal. And you focus on that, and they come and ask you to do something that's not at your best interest. No. And then they get mad, and you may feel bad that they're mad at you. You have to develop tough skin, and you have to stick to your conviction. That you just have to, you know, just stay with your goal. Because, I mean, you may say yes, and that may delay your goal. You know what I'm saying? Because you over here pleasing this person, but meantime you had a deadline to get something done, or you may have to study for something. And meantime, they are happy, but meantime, in the other times, you just, you know, now you have to behind the 8 ball because you have to study and it's late. Then you could fail the test, anything. You know, the gift of saying no, some people have it, some people don't. You know, I had to learn to say no, and once you learn how to say no, then you feel great, you know, good about saying no. You know, they just have to understand they'll get over it. If they're your friends, they'll get over it. So
I agree with that. So how would you handle if the person, their reaction from you saying no, if they come at you with manipulation and you realize that it's manipulation, would you feel like you have to explain yourself on your decision?
No, I mean, early on in my 20s, yes. Why are you mad at me? What did I do to you? How can I make it better? Now, I mean, I had someone, you know, ask me for something and I couldn't help. So they try to guilt trip me. To me, manipulation, guilt tripping, you know, to me, that's, no, you don't love me. You don't care for my best interest. The only thing you care about is yours. So that's what I mean. That going back to what I said about some people you have to cut off. And when you go into your goals, there are going to be people that's hanging on to you. And when you say no, they're going to fall off because they never was your friend. Never. You know what I'm saying? Because they, you know, a real friend is like, okay, I understand, you know, I mean, because you can help someone 100 times, and on the 101st time you say no, they try to question your loyalty. But meantime, you're going to help them out 100 times, and they try to guilt trip you. They're not your friend. They only want you around to see what they can get from you. So now, you know what I'm saying, I made a sound decision to live intentional. The people who's supposed to be in my life are here for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to understand that in your life, you know, that's a reason why you're in my life. Because I'm allowing you to be in my life, and I feel like, you know, we both iron sharpen iron. We both gonna be there for each other. But there's times when I have to buckle down to get focused on my goals, and they may have to get focused on their goals. And so if you true friends, you're going to respect that. You're not going to guilt trip the other person for doing what they have to do to make themselves better. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way it is. So to me, it's no explaining. That's to me, that's self-explanatory.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you say no and they try to get mad at you, but you know for a fact that this is urgent for you, they're not your friends. So that's how I handle it. You know what I'm saying? What about you?
All right. Well, before I forget, I also have another question before I forget this one. How do you handle when you have to close the door to someone that you feel that's cool, you love them, you don't want to close the door, and you know God is telling you to close the door, and you keep opening the door? How, versus when you say no and they run off, but when you have to close the door yourself and you don't want to because this person is cool, we've been friends since kindergarten, on the playground, 4 flat tires, whatever. How do you handle that, and how do you feel when you have to do it versus
it could hurt?
Just falling off themselves?
It could hurt. And don't get me wrong, I had friends I had to close the door because I was focused. You know what I'm saying? So, and they may come to you, you don't call me anymore, you don't text me anymore, you don't do certain things, anymore, and you just have to let them know where you in some point in life. Just like Moses, when he was leading the Israelites, he had to go to the mountain and meet God by himself.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So nobody else could come up there. No other Israelite, no other prophet. God wanted to meet with him. Man, you could translate that to life in general. Some places you're going requires you to go alone. You know what I'm saying? It just, every friendship or every person that comes in your life, some for a season, some for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes, that person was only allowed to be in your life for a year, maybe 5. But you have to discern when it's time to let them go.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That comes to relationships, friendships, if they were your friend. I mean, wherever they into, they may, you may not be into the same things with them. Like 5 years ago. People grow, they're in a different space in their lives. So, yes, it hurt. Yes, you're going to have memories. But again, what's more important? Pleasing God or trying to save a friendship or a relationship with someone that you were supposed to cut off.
Yeah, you're holding on to it longer than you should.
You have to, like my good friend used to tell me all the time, I always quote him, you have to love your desires more than yourself, you have to love what you're trying to accomplish more than pleasing everybody else. So your feelings sometimes can get in the way and cloud your mind, from your goals. When you're supposed to be focused on your goals, but you trying to, please your feelings in a way, let me keep that person around, and you're gonna see later on that when you were supposed to be and let them go. So So what you think? Shut your L.
Well, how I feel about when I had to close some doors on some people, like you said, it hurt. At first, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to fight that battle to close the door. I just wanted it to automatically close. Like if they call, don't answer. Don't respond by text messages or just don't respond at all. And I just kind of want it to fall off itself. I don't have the gift of no, but I'm working on it. and just trying to live my life, like I said, this half, for myself, and trying to reach my goals, not ignoring, people, or kind of like tiptoeing around it. So just trying to, like you said earlier, if you're trying to live your life making other people happy, but only if they're making you happy.
Right.
So I kind of took that to heart. It kind of like opened my ears and eyes on who I'm trying to please. So like my kids, or other than myself, self-gratification, so yeah. I keep saying it all the time, I'm just excited about my new journey, and just try to keep a smile on my face, and keep myself happy, because first, you have to make yourself happy. You have to be in love, like with yourself, and just be happy with the decisions that you making, before you can just like venture out to, see what your path is, and see what it is that you're trying to accomplish. Take inventory of your life, and inventory of your circle, and if they're not building you, and
you have to let them
and if they're not encouraging you, you have to, if they busybodies, gossiping, and if it's not in your life right now, I think everybody gossip like to a certain degree, but if it's not meaningful in your life,
right,
you just have to let it go. All of us have, our faults, and we're trying to grow and be better people.
Right.
So yeah, I think just inventory, being mindful, good sound decisions, just being pleasing in the sight of God, because that's what it is. I mean, really, it's His life. He's just trusting you with it. So that's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, you hit it on the head. It's just comes to a point. It comes to a point where you just want to please God.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is not going to understand that. Mm-hmm. I mean, especially those who live it for the world, opposed to living for God. Because when you're living for God, there's going to be a lot of things that's going to be foolish to the people who live it for the world.
Mm-hmm.
And and so I had people I knew tell me, "What? You gonna do that?" And I have to forgive. They get mad when you have to forgive.
Mm-hmm. You get mad when you have to forgive.
Yeah. I mean, they may view you as soft and this, but the Bible says you have to forgive someone who offends you 77 times 7.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's like 400 something. I think I got my math right. 400 something, times. You know what I'm saying? So that he basically said that only because he knew you're going to have to forgive throughout. There's going to be some people who are going to intentionally hurt you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then when they come up and apologize, that doesn't mean you have to continue to be hanging around them, but you have to
you just know how to handle them.
Let them go. Don't go into your prayer life with a bitter heart.
Right.
You have to pray for them. You have to, do certain things. But it's just, to me, again, it comes back to people pleasing. You know what I'm saying? Because we all, those who live it for God, we just want to please Him. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it's at times it could be, it could be a tough walk, but Jesus said, "Those who endure." So they're going to be trials and tribulations. So, but people pleasing is a sin. There's no other way around it. It's a sin because you would start sacrificing your integrity for your friends who has no intentions of seeing the best for you or seeing you succeed. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I co-sign what you're saying.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so do you have any questions for me before we just end this segment?
No, I mean, we pretty much, we a lot of times off air we talk about things, and we just sometimes we could talk for hours about a subject, and she may be like, "Oh, we should have recorded that," but some things just so authentic that you know what I'm saying. I mean, it just happened. You know what I'm saying, in the heat of the moment. So, we just want to shed light on the people pleasing, living for yourself. You have to live intentional. You have to. I mean, you just have to make up your mind and say, listen, this is what I want. This is what God placed on my heart. Let me focus on this. And again, the closer you get to that, there's going to be people attacking you, coming towards you to try to distract you. That's how you know you're on the right track. So,
and that's how you know you're going to another level.
Right.
That's how you know it's growth. So
I mean, so we, like I said, we talk about a lot of things, a lot of subjects, and we just, we came together to do this podcast, this YouTube video, and maybe, kind of help someone who may be struggling with people pleasing. So,
yeah.
You have anything?
No, I think we covered it all. So,
yes.
Thank you for tuning in. Out of your busy schedule, keep the faith podcast, and also our YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram. Keep the Faith Book 100. Our Facebook page. Keep the Faith LLC. Also, you can email us at keepthefaithbook100@gmail.com, and just you can do a comment, and also continue to share, like, and subscribe. And I will put in the description Keep the Faith merchandise.
Yes.
Keep the Faith book is on Amazon. But again, I will put that all in the description so you can go in and purchase merchandise, or, just tune in and, keep the faith.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So, you guys enjoy your night. And you'd like to leave a comment, I mean, go ahead and we will always respond. So, again, it's always a pleasure to shed light on how we feel and what we know, what God placed on our hearts. So, again, you guys enjoy your night, and God bless you.
And always keep the faith.